What is up, guys? I'll be showing you guys how to do a diff fluid change on your C63 with an LSD. You will need some 75 W204 fluid. If you go to the dealership, they'll give you the same thing. Not liquid moly, but probably Castrol, something like that. But you'll get 75 W204 no matter what. I got this from FCP Euro, so the unlimited warranty. You're going to want to do this every 40,000 miles at the most. I'm at 40,000 miles now, so it's kind of time for a change. The C63 will have two 19mm bolts on it. One will be a fill and one will be a drain. The higher one up is a fill bolt, and the lower one down is a drain bolt. You want to move the fill bolt first, just to make sure you can fill it up afterwards, and obviously drain it out from the drain bolt. It should hold about 1.5 liters of fluid. Essentially, you know it's full by the overflow from the fill plug. So I have 2 liters over here, but if you want, you can buy 3 half-liter containers. It can be 1.5 liters precisely. So we should have a drain. We should have at least a 1.5 liters drain out of the diff, maybe only 1. It would be ideal if you could drive the car around a little bit before, as it will kind of get a little bit warmer. It'll come out easier. Currently below the C63, this is toward the rear of the car, so right over there is where the exhaust is and all that. Exhaust tips, rather. As you can see on the driver's side, there is the 19mm fill bolt. It's a very shallow 19mm hex. If it has not been changed before, you probably notice it's just a black painted, just the same color as the diff casing. So that's just nothing to worry about. That's pretty normal right there. And then the fill, or the drain bolt rather, is right at the bottom, right there. So same kind of bolt, just at the bottom. So like I said earlier, we want to remove that one first, and then we can drain it out afterwards to ensure we can refill it. Alrighty, guys, finally got the drain plug off the diff, and now it is currently draining into that pan over there very slowly. It's almost done, I think. But I want to let you guys know that these 19mm drain and fill plugs, so essentially they're painted while the bit attached to the diff while the diff is in production, I suppose. So the entire bolt is painted as well as the diff, same color as the diff. So the paint almost kind of seals it together even more than it would normally be like torqued down to. So it requires the torque not only to open up the bolt, but to crack the paint around it. So what ends up happening is it's a very small area. This is a very shallow bolt, as you can kind of see. So it's very easy to strip. So for example, I was using a multi-point 19mm socket, which I shouldn't have been doing in the first place, but I was doing that for the drain bolt, and as you can kind of see, it's messed up a little bit, so I probably should get a replacement, but for now I'll be reusing this one. Same goes for the fill, but for the fill at least I could use my impact gun to kind of loosen it up. But what you really want is something like this. So this is a flex head, but it doesn't really matter to be a flex or not, but you want a relatively normal size, sort of shallow 6.9mm or 19mm socket with a 3/8" drive or 1/2 inch if you can find it. But the key here is that you have torque. So this little ratchet over here can actually extend out if I pull this down, and you can see that a lot more torque, a lot more leverage with a longer sort of bar. It's kind of like a breaker bar built into it, which is really useful. So I do recommend you have a breaker bar of some sort with a shallow 19mm like that. We also want to clean off the ends of these drain plugs, as it's probably full of, metal residue and all that. There's a magnet on these ends of these things, so you really want to clean those off before you reinstall them. Also, the reason I'm hesitant to replace this is that, online they're about $26 for the drain bolt, which is nothing really special, but I guess in Mercedes they have to make it special and they have to make it expensive. And if you go to the dealer to pick it up, at least the one near me, it was $47. I'm like, alright, I will reuse these for now. I know how to get them off properly now, and it should be not as hard with the without the paint on them anymore, so I'll get them next time maybe, but not right now. So if you want to do this and you're planning it out beforehand, unlike me, I just bought the fluid, I would recommend buying those online if you want to, just for this peace of mind. Like I said, this is this car's first differential fluid flush, so that's probably why they're so hard to get off. Here's quickly just clean this one off over here, looking nice and good. The 99 surface right there, and then here's the dirty one. So good amount of metal shavings, residue, whatever, it kind of builds up over time. Alrighty, guys, sorry for the poor camera angle, but just kind of lack of space down here. But the diff is draining out right now from the fill plug, which means I filled it up properly, and now it is currently letting all the excess out. So we filled it up with about 1.5 liters of fluid. So about just what we took out as well, and yeah, now the excess fluid is draining out, and once that is done, I can go ahead and cap off the diff. See, I've tightened up and snugged up my drain plug. It's probably a good time for me to go check out those torque specs, and I'll get back to you when I get those. Alrighty, guys, just put up the fill plug back into place and kind of snugged it up. I couldn't quite find the torque specs. I've seen some people say 35 foot-pounds, but those are kind of estimates, not actual, concrete numbers for Mercedes. So I think snugging it up should be good enough, and that's essentially it. I'm not sure if you guys are going to really notice anything. It's kind of more of a Something you should do to kind of prolong the life of your differential. Not more of a, you'll notice a huge difference unless it's been a super long time. I recently did my diff in my 335i. I think it was the first time it was ever done, and it was at like 100,000 miles, and I didn't notice. I noticed a little bit of difference, but I don't think the fluid was that old to begin with, so this should be more of a routine thing. Should keep the car running just as well as it did before, so we should be all set with that. Yeah, every 40,000 miles is good enough for this, and I hope this helped you out, and peace out.